Yeah, my name's Curtis Lynch. I'm a record producer from the UK, run a record label called Necessary Mayhem Records. That's me. As a producer, well, as a music man, I guess from the start, I've been told that, you know, I was always playing music. I was playing music at the house parties as a 5-year-old, able to play music, you know, in the parties at the house. And from there, you know, always wanted to be involved in music. Grew up listening to a lot of, obviously, like the 80s reggae dancehall. Enough Gregory. Dad was Gregory Isaacs. Mum was Dennis Brown. So, you know, we have the best of the music in the house, and just carried on, you know, I guess wanting to please my mum and dad, to be honest, you know, musically, to show them that I could do it, and met some wonderful people along the way, and you know, they helped me. First productions that came out, I started off really, you know, I always loved the reggae, but I started off doing like some drum and bass, some jungle kind of stuff, and because the reggae to me was just too easy at the time. I wanted to do something different, and the first thing that I did was a drum and bass tune for a label, well, for Mr. Palmer at Jetstar, basically, and yeah, it did well, went on jungle hits, and the rest was history after that, to be honest. The reggae, whatever I do from then till now, the reggae's always in me, so it was a really easy transition. Obviously, growing up, you know, in this country, we, you know, we're blessed with music from all sides. You've got rock music, you've got indie music, you've got soul, you've got hip hop, you've got reggae, jungle, everything is here. So sometimes you'll find different elements, you know, within the music. So that was real easy for me to make the transition. And it was, but I had to fight to do the reggae tune that I wanted to, though. The first big reggae tune that I did, I had to really fight to get it done. Well, the first big tune that I had was a tune called She's Having My Baby by Don Ricardo, which was, you know, I was still at college. I just got accepted to go into university, and it was either university or music. And I obviously chose music, and the opportunities after having a big tune, especially like in, you know, over here at that time where the charts meant something, where music, you know, meant a lot more as well, and from your peers and everything, it was, you know, the phone was on the rapid, basically, from a lot of different, you know, artists that wanted to work, reggae labels. There was a lot of interest because it was a big tune. You know, it's difficult. There's so many different tunes and from so many different sides. But you got, you know, the She's Having My Baby is a big tune to start off with. Then, you know, I guess going to my own label, you know, we have Million Styles with Police and Helicopter, which was massive. It's Hana, August Town, which was big. Some tracks with Tyrus Riley. Loads. Then the Gorillas, Alicia Keys, you know. It's different to what I grew up listening to, but that's good. There needs to be change. There needs to be, you know, there needs to be growth. It's not for everybody, but, you know, you can well hear years ago your mum and dad might be saying, you know what, that music that you're listening to, them Shabba or that Ninja or that whatever, what's that, you know? But that was our music, that was my music. So it's kind of, I guess, in a funny kind of way, it could be seen, you can look at it as the same way. It's not for everybody, but it's current. I worry about the direction but more the quality of the music, just because anybody with a laptop or any program or whatever, you know, can now call themselves a producer or a DJ or whatever. And, you know, without you know, making it too serious, you couldn't just be a lawyer or you couldn't just be a doctor. There is training, there are things that you have to go through, and that's the same thing with my profession, is that you have to train to you know, you don't just become a selector, You used to have to lift boxes. You don't just become a producer. You have to wrap up wires in the studio. You have to go and make tea. You have to you do everything else in the studio, actually, apart from be a producer, which is what I did. And I love that. You know, it's training. And now, you know, you just go to the shop, buy a laptop, buy a program, watch videos on YouTube, and you feel you're a producer, and that's not it. I've never really had that much of a problem with getting my music played. You know, I work really hard in the studio at it, you know, the sound of the music, and I guess, you know, I'm pretty fearless with getting, you know, going to a DJ or going to an artist or whatever to get the music played. You know, you have a plan in mind. It's you know, there's a percentage of it is music, but then the other percentage is, okay, in your mind, how are you going to get this music played? Where are you going to go to? And you know, I luckily I always have a, you know, a plan of where I'm going to go and get my music played, and by who, and you know, so on. The English sound, you know, that's something that I've always, I personally have always tried to get away from, having that English sound per se. To me, it seems a little bit lighter in comparison to the Jamaica sound. We've had many conversations with producers and engineers, both here and in Jamaica, with regards to this. It could be any number of things. It could be the you know, the sunshine. It could be the electricity. It could be just a feel. It could be anything. But the sound, to me, has always been a bit. The English sound is always a bit lighter, and I try. Well, I used to try really hard to avoid it. Now I just, you know, I think I've kind of conquered it, and I just make music. What I've done over the years is I surround myself with the best of the best in terms of producers in around various different countries, and you know, I learned a lot from Danny Brownie. Was one of my first Jamaican mentors in terms of production, and then, you know, the great Gussie Clarke, obviously, you know, work a lot with Sly and Robbie, but especially Sly. So and you know, just by them talking to me and telling me, you know, certain things, what to do, and you know, various sounds and training over the years, they've definitely helped. They've definitely helped and accepted me, obviously, because I've learnt from them. So. I think in the last 15 years, we've had, you know, some sprinklings of some good artists, but nowhere near as consistent as it was in the 80s and the early 90s. And I think that this is all due to, you know, the sound system culture is major in our music. It always has been. And if you look, you know, to where the music has changed dramatically, you'll see that it's been since the lack of the sound system culture. So it's not that I'm not pleased, I just wouldn't say that they're as consistent and, you know, lyrically gifted as some of the people that we've had before. In terms of stars and the way that and behaviour, I think that actually, you know, they're right up there. But you know, being a star without substance is a limited shelf life in this music industry. I just make music. I don't have any preference. I love reggae, all reggae, right across the board. I don't really have a preference. And especially being creative, I might wake up and feel that I'm going to do a dancehall track, and by the end of it, it's a lovers rock track. And, you know, it just depends. It just depends for me. So I don't really have a preference. I love it all. In reggae, who do I have my eye on? That's a great question. Damian Marley for me is stands, you know, miles apart from most of the reggae artists that we have right now. Like he, you know, he knows how to delivery vocally is amazing. His shows are super tight. He is, you know, I guess he's the benchmark really for modern day reggae music. So him, and then, you know, definitely him. And I still have to work with Shabba before I die. I have to work with Shabba. Outside of the reggae, you see, outside of the reggae genre currently, right now, we have some sounds over here, and I've been watching other producers. Recently, you see David Guetta, you see there's Roscoe, there's Nero, there's a lot of different producers in different genres of music where it's funny, they are the star now. So, and in terms of reggae, and definitely in terms of how I've been brought up within the industry, we are the people behind the scenes. But now, you know, I'm looking at it in a different way, and the way that you can make you know, create different sounds with different artists as a producer, with you fronting it and they're featuring. So I guess maybe, yeah, I think for me that's kind of something that I've been looking into, because I'm listening to a lot of different music right now. Loads of different things with the label. We got, you know, Necessary Mayhem is doing well, is known for a lot of the 80s and 90s dancehall like do-overs, like rhythm wise. But now we also have like the Necessary Classics, which is more the lovers rock side of things. We have the Maroon, which is the more roots side of things. And we have a new collective called Killer Mosquito, which is more a mash between reggae, dancehall, jungle, rock, dubstep, all kind of things with, you know, with MCs and singers, and it's kind of exciting actually. It's much more, I haven't been this excited about a project for a long while, and it's because I guess it's all of those elements just thrown into one and mixed up, but essentially it's still reggae.